What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today we're going to be talking about something that I think is pretty cool. Basically, there's this village in Spain that has been, like, isolated, cursed, and excommunicated because of witchcraft that used to go on there back in the day. And they're still like, nah, we don't want to rejoin, y'all disowned us. Regardless, I didn't really know there was a random village in Spain that to this day is accused of witchcraft, and I figured it would make a fun video, so without further ado, let's get into it.
I'm getting quiet now. Lay low when you reach some pipe down. Make it out.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the specific title that caught my interest today is, Excommuted Spanish Witch Village Turns Cursed into Tourist Cash. And honestly, that was just a headline I wasn't expecting to be seeing. You know, as somebody that lives in Las Vegas, I know a thing or two about tourism, and yeah, I believe people are willing to, like, go to the middle of nowhere to visit Witch Village. Who'd have thought that, like, 200 years ago, a curse that sucked and basically got you excommunicated from your country would be, like, the most valuable thing there? Yeah, I'm actually a multimillionaire. I sell sticks to tourists, telling them that it's wands, and they buy those things up. I think the reason tourism is, like, the best economy to have, and I'm a little bit biased, you know, it's not the most stable, that's for sure, I'll give it that. Tourism, like, tourist people will buy anything, dude. They literally will. You tell them it's a souvenir, you tell them it's authentic, they don't know anything about where they're at, they'll probably buy it. Like, how much money do you think Disney has made at this point of people just buying stuffed animals that their kid never plays with again? Tucked into the foothills of northern Spain, the village of Trasmoz, I hope I said that right, I probably didn't, attracts thousands of tourists each year. For many, the allure is not the half-ruined castle or the stunning mountain backdrop, but rather a curious quirk of history. It's Spain's only excommunicated and cursed village. So far, being excommunicated and cursed hasn't been that bad for us, said Lola Ruiz Diaz, one of the 47 or so people who live all year round in the village, some 50 miles northwest of that place. It's turned out to be a point in our favor, actually. Dude, I love how, like, back in the medieval times, they were literally just, like, excommunicating entire towns because they didn't like them, bro. Like, that is just the most medieval Europe sentence of all time. Yeah, that city, we're just gonna pretend it doesn't exist because they don't agree with us. You know what I mean? I also love putting a curse on the village. Like, excommunicating it wasn't enough. You know, you guys are gonna never trade with them again. You're gonna ignore them forever. That's cool and all. You might as well also make sure that you place a curse on them. I will say the curse clearly can't be working that well if, like, you know, it's becoming one of the tourist hotspots in the world. I just feel like if the curse was authentic, that would be one of the things prevented by it, you know? We curse your area and people will never want to visit. Like, you would think that would be way up there on the curse priority list, because if people never visit, then they don't know it exists. It's really an effective curse. Man, 47 people live there year-round. I mean, obviously, it was probably a little bit bigger when it was cursed, but, like, you guys won't lift the curse now? There's only 47 people left. They definitely have nothing to do with why you were mad in the first place. Summer can see as many as 6,000 tourists descend on the village for its witchcraft festival in July, exploring its tiny sorcery museum and taking reenactments of the curse being cast on the village. Few villagers ever expected its singular status to become a tourist draw, but 2 decades ago, after locals became reclaiming the tales that had shifted and shaped it over the years, a steady trickle of fascinated visitors began popping up. Its unorthodox past dates back to a time of series and squabbles that were over 700 years ago. At the time, Trasmoz was a prosperous community of Christians, Jews, and Arabs with a powerful adversary, the neighboring monastery of Arula. A quarrel between the two, whether the village could fell trees in the area for firewood, came to a head in 1252, leading to the monastery abbot to demand that Trasmoz be excommunicated from the Catholic Church. One would call it a tantrum. Dude, that's just a level of petty that, like, I don't think we've really achieved since, man. The Middle Ages were really out there. It's 1252. Some guy chopped down a tree. You didn't like him chopping down the tree, right? You guys start arguing about it. You can't come to a head. Instead of just being like, no, you're not chopping down the trees. We're going to guard them. You contact the church and just, like, curse the whole city. Just all of them. I really doubt everyone in the city was stealing trees. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty petty, bro. They were arguing in the woods, and he's like, I'm gonna make your family have to move. I'm gonna ruin your village's history. And the guy's like, oh, sure you will. Next thing you know, they're excommunicated from the Catholic Church, which is a pretty big deal back in the day, especially in Spain. Like, this guy single-handedly basically stopped a city from being born and developing any further. All over some trees, man. It really does make the world go around. Mr. Beast could be out here solving these issues with the tree charity. Maybe that's his secret master plan. The tree foundation thing that Mr. Beast is doing, it has nothing to do with fighting global warming. He wants to like reclaim Trasmoz and turn it into Beastville and make it a country. The second row on the village came more than 250 years later, this time over access to the waterways that thread through the nearby Moncayo Mountains. After the country's nobles sided with Trasmoz, the monastery retaliated. With permission from the Pope, the abbot recited a curse from the Psalm of Trasmoz. To hear Ruiz tell it, villagers shrugged off the hex and life continued as normal. In the view of my people, the people of Trasmoz didn't take it very seriously, and the monastery launched against him as they were used to it. Some, even though, sought to use it to their advantage. Decades after it was excommunicated, the caretakers of the castle began covertly using the site to create false coins. In order to explain the hammering, banging, and other noises emanating from the castle in the dead of night, they told people that witches were in the area. The strange noises were, of course, them making false coins. The monastery took advantage of it, telling people that it was a witch's village. Yo, they were really just counterfeiting money, and then somehow the entire country was like, yeah, no, it's cursed, don't go there. You gotta love it, dude. I really love the Dark Ages, because now, you know, if there was a bunch of hammering coming from this building late at night, we would be like, what are you banging on with a hammer? Nope. Back in the Middle Ages, they would just be like, ah, it's a witch. And everyone would be like, oh, yeah, there's witches here. It just is what it is. There's witches in the woods eating kids, so that's where the banging comes from. All of this for some counterfeiting. I really feel like for some reason in the Middle Ages, there were like 4 people that were in on the whole, like there's not actually witches in the woods thing, and they just used it to just make everybody not bother them with their business. Yo, we can literally just keep counterfeiting coins forever as long as we convince people it's haunted. This is basically what Scooby-Doo villains want to do, but they actually got away with it. Like, you know how the Scooby-Doo villains always want to convince everybody that the castle's haunted so they can buy it for super cheap and then turn it into a tourist attraction or like whatever. They're always just some weird plan. That's what they did. We're gonna keep the cops away from investigating our counterfeit by convincing everybody that there's witches here. And cause it's the Middle Ages, the cops weren't gonna go investigate no witches, bro. They're not gonna go looking for them. Nearly 8 centuries after it was excommunicated, they've smoothed over relations with the Varula Monastery, with the two joining forces at times to organize cultural events. And there's little sign of the tempestuous relationship at the church, where masses, baptisms, and other rites are regularly held. No witches there. Even so, villagers have no interest in approaching the Pope to see whether the excommunication curse can be lifted. We're not considering it. We're not gonna do it. Getting rid of it now would be like erasing everything, and I think future generations would never forgive us. Yeah, dude, if you've just been chilling doing your thing for like 800 years while this curse was on you, then I don't know why you would even bother getting it lifted now. Like, oh, please, please lift this curse. No, bro, it just didn't do anything. Like, it's the most useless curse of all time. There's no reason to go beg someone to lift it if it just doesn't work. Oh, don't you guys want to not be cursed? No, I really don't care. If anything, it's making them more money. Like, let's say they get the curse lifted. Why are people gonna come visit this village with 47 people in it? It's not like that's a tourist hub that everybody's trying to go check out in Spain. I hadn't heard about it till today, dude. If they get rid of the curse, they're SOL. Why would anyone go visit otherwise? No offense to them. But like, if I lived in a city with 30 people in it in the middle of Iowa, the only thing running through us is a freeway, I would understand why people aren't coming to stop all the time. Now, if we had a witch and we were cursed and all that stuff, people would come there, and that makes sense. But yeah, apparently there's a village in Spain that's cursed, so be careful out there. Witches are real, and you can counterfeit coins as long as you convince everybody it's witches doing it. And yeah, on that note, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. Subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. If you like the intro song, a link is down below, along with the link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast. Use code Scrubae at the G Fuel check for a discount. And yeah, other than that, take a look at your screen now. You'll see the coolest merch to ever exist on the history of the planet, which can be yours by going to the description and buying it. But on that note, guys, that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.